The Chicago Bears defense gets completely destroyed, gashed, humiliated, whatever word you want to use. They got destroyed, allowed 42 to the Cowboys. We allowed 7 more on a fumble recovery touchdown, and the Bears fell to the Cowboys by a score of 49-29 to drop to 3-5 on the season. But our young quarterback Justin Fields looked pretty damn good the entire afternoon. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears post-game reaction video, which I'll be doing after every single Bears game this year, win or lose. If you guys want my thoughts on what happened in each Bears game this year, definitely be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'll be splitting this video up into 2 separate parts. So I'll be talking about the defense first of all, because I want to get the bad out of the way first, and then I'll be talking about the Bears offense and Justin Fields right after that, okay? Because it's going to be 2 very different conversations we're going to be having, okay? Because only one side of the football showed up today, and it's not the side of the football that most Bears fans expect to show up, okay? The offense was the only side of the football that showed up to play ball today against a top 3 defense. I cannot believe we almost put together 30 points against that defense, but I'll talk about them right after talking about the Bears defense, because guys, what the hell was that? Like, what the actual hell was that defensive performance? I know the Bears defense, maybe I got tricked a little bit into thinking they were better than they actually were, because we were actually ranked top 10 in many defensive categories before this game. It seemed like our run defense was really improving. Last couple of games, our pass defense was top 3 in the NFL. We were getting turnovers pretty consistently. We had a couple strong performances in a row. I thought our defense, even though it lacked talent on the defensive line, I never thought we would have a defensive performance this bad in a single game, in which we just got completely outmatched, outclassed throughout the entire game against the Dallas Cowboys offense that was struggling going into this game. The Dallas Cowboys offense was bottom 15 in basically every single category, okay? Dak Prescott was really struggling to begin the year. Well, he was not struggling whatsoever against this Bears defense, okay? He went 21 for 27 for 250 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 interception, 1 sack, passer rating of 114.5. He also ran with the football multiple times. He had 5 carries for 34 yards, 1 touchdown too, in which I cannot believe what happened on that play, okay? They just completely gave up on that play, our entire defense. It seemed like we had Dak Prescott down there, but he kept on going on that QB sneak, and he turned that into like a 20 plus, I think 25 yard touchdown, okay, which just absolutely cannot happen if you are the Chicago Bears defense. The entire afternoon today, I saw guys not finishing tackles, taking bad pursuit angles, getting lost out there, seeming like they have no idea what's going on. And for a defensive-minded head coach, for a defensive staff that seemed to be doing a good job before this game, like, I seriously don't know what the heck happened in this game, okay? On 3rd down, we actually got the Cowboys to 3rd down multiple times in this game, but we allowed 3rd down conversions on 9 out of the 11 times they were on 3rd down, okay? Over a 80% completion rate on 3rd down is just pathetic, okay? And multiple times it was on 3rd and long too, okay? We allowed conversions on 3rd and 9, 3rd and 12, like that touchdown to CeeDee Lamb in the first half to make it 14-0 Cowboys. That was on 3rd and 9, okay? And at that point, if you're the Bears defense, you have to be getting that stop. But unfortunately, Dak Prescott, he threw it deep over Jaquan Brisker's head, and that was a touchdown to put the Cowboys up already by 2 touchdowns. And just the entire afternoon, guys, it seemed like our guys were slow in reading and reacting to what was happening in front of them. And for a defensive-minded head coach like Matt Eberflus that stressed how important it was to play fast, play physical, like, none of that was on display throughout this entire game, okay? There was no fight in this Bears defense whatsoever throughout the game. The only time they showed fight was Eddie Jackson coming away with that interception. His 4th of the year, by the way. Eddie Jackson is definitely back playing like his 2018 self. He was probably the only guy that played pretty well on defense for the most part. He had 11 tackles as well. He led the team in tackles, even though our linebackers chose to not play football today. Eddie Jackson was out there playing pretty well for the most part. There might have been a few lapses in coverage, but the rest of our guys, man, especially on that front 7, were terrible today the entire afternoon, okay? And that's why the Chicago Bears allowed 42 points on defense to the Dallas Cowboys, okay? Because when you don't have any sort of push you're getting up front at the line of scrimmage, when you can't contain, like we cannot contain mobile quarterbacks, it seems like right now, that's how you allow 442 yards of total offense to this team, okay? We allowed 242 through the air, 200 through the ground, and we had like basically no pass rush in this game. We did get a sack later on, like when the game was already kind of out of hand, but like there was no pressure, guys, on Dak Prescott in this game. Even when we blitzed, you know, Dak got the ball out pretty fast. He did a good job of getting the ball out fast, so I'll give Dak credit for that, but like we had no answer. Even when we did blitz, our run defense was horrible the entire afternoon, like it's been for the vast majority of the season. It seems like that game against the Patriots was a fluke, okay, because the run defense was back to being as bad as they have been throughout a good portion of the season. Okay, we allowed 200 on the ground, and obviously Pollard had 131 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns too. Okay, and guys, I want to talk about Roquan Smith right now because Roquan probably played the worst game of his entire Bears career. Obviously, this loss is not only on one person, like our entire defense played horrible, so you can't only blame one guy for that performance, but all of our linebackers looked horrible out there the entire afternoon. Okay, where was Roquan Smith? He only had 4 tackles in this game, took the wrong angle multiple times. It seems like he was getting pushed too whenever the Cowboys were trying to run the football, like he has been sometimes on these running plays. And it's like, if you're Roquan Smith and you want all this money, you got to show up in these big time games. Okay, I know that Roquan Smith did have a pretty good performance against the Patriots on Monday night, so I'm not gonna I don't want to go crazy on him, but like, if you're demanding 20 plus million per year, this was not the type of performance that indicates you are a 20 plus million dollar per year off ball linebacker. So like, it really makes me question like what the plan is going to be with Roquan Smith after this year, because he's played great in some games, he's played pretty bad in others. So like, I don't know if that necessarily equates to getting paid whatever he wants, but maybe if he like comes down his price, the Bears do end up signing him. I don't know what's going to happen with Roquan, but like today was a horrible day by Roquan Smith and the entire Bears front seven, because we got bullied at the line of scrimmage. Okay, and until we get better players through the draft or through free agency, like that's probably going to continue throughout the season because we simply do not have the guys. Okay, we traded away Khalil Mack, we traded away Robert Quinn too, and obviously we have young guys that can still work out long term, guys like Travis Gibson, guys like Dominique Robinson, but they're pretty young right now. They're not really good against the run. We don't have a dominant defensive tackle. We don't have great guys right now at linebacker besides Roquan, and even Roquan played a pretty poor game today. So like, that's how we allowed so many points against the Dallas Cowboys, and it's just pathetic, okay? Because in a game in which our offense showed up, okay, consecutive games that our offense has showed up, our defense completely wet the bed. Every time our offense was trying to put together a drive to come back, our defense allowed a big touchdown, and like they just completely gave up throughout this game, which was pathetic. Now, obviously, we are a pretty young defense, so like young defenses are going to have moments of being outmatched and, you know, completely getting destroyed in certain games, which we have had those moments. Okay, the first half against the Vikings, we looked pretty bad. We did rebound in that game though in the second half. Unfortunately, we cannot do that in this game against the Cowboys, but I'm obviously not going to try to overreact to just one bad performance, because obviously before this game, the Bears defense was actually putting together very encouraging performances, but like today, they just looked absolutely horrible the entire afternoon. So they were the main reasons why the Chicago Bears lost this game. But talking about the other side of the football now, okay, the better side, which I cannot believe I'm saying this as a Chicago Bears fan, the Chicago Bears offense completely carried our team on their backs, okay, against a top 3 defense on the road. This literally never happens for the Chicago Bears, okay? To see our offense pick up the tab when our defense is struggling, like our young quarterback Justin Fields going on the road now, playing really well in back-to-back games against tough defenses, okay? The Cowboys had the #1 ranked passing defense entering this game. Obviously, Justin Fields didn't have like a crazy passing performance, but he still had 151 yards passing the ball. He had 2 touchdowns through the air. He was very efficient today too. He was 17 for 23 passing. He had a passer rating of, let me pull it up, 120.0. Okay, I believe the best passer rating of his young NFL career. And honestly, his stats could have been a lot better even than what he had, because he had guys dropping passes. Like Velus Jones, man, I'm starting to worry a lot about him, because he's only really a factor right now in the screen passes and the gimmicky type of plays, because he's not a base part of the offense, and we saw why in this game. Okay, going down the field, he actually got a step on his man. He was open, you know, going down the right sideline. It would have been a big gain for the Bears passing attack, but he lets the ball slip through his fingers. Okay, he has a problem, a real problem, tracking the ball down the field. Okay, that was showing up in the punt returns. He's also dropped the ball now, which, you know, he should have made the play on that. So kind of worried right now about Velus Jones. That was a pretty bad play by him. Dante Pettis also had a rough time. I mean, he's not a jump ball winner, okay? So we threw a ball to him into the end zone. I'm at the end of the first half after we got the ball back on the Eddie Jackson interception. So we tested him deep, and unfortunately, he cannot come down with that catch. Maybe Fields could have led him, you know, deeper into the end zone, maybe put that ball a little bit in front of him. So yes, maybe Fields could have improved on that throw, but like a good ball-winning receiver, man. He makes that catch. Unfortunately, Dante Pettis could not make it. And then we also had a pass after that to Equinemius St. Brown into the right corner of the end zone, which that would have been a really tough play to make for St. Brown. So I'm not going to totally fault him for that. I mean, the defender was right there to, basically knock the ball out. So maybe a better receiver catches that ball, probably not. But regardless, like, it's pretty evident that Justin Fields does not have top level receivers right now to throw the ball to. Okay, Darnell Mooney and N'Keal Harry were really the only guys that stepped up and showed up in this game. N'Keal Harry had a strong touchdown in which he was one-on-one with that Cowboys defender. Fields noticed him one-on-one. He decided to take a shot to him. And normally our receivers were dropping these types of balls, but N'Keal Harry came down with that catch, even though there was a guy right next to him, basically. So N'Keal Harry played pretty well there. I wish we got more opportunities for him in this game. He only had 2 catches for 24 yards. Darnell Mooney also obviously played pretty well. He had 4 receptions for 70 yards. Okay, had some long developing routes in which he eventually found himself open. So he played pretty well. Cole Kmet also had a touchdown catch. Finally, Cole Kmet got his touchdown. He had not scored a touchdown for like a long time before this game. I believe his last touchdown was during his rookie year, okay, in 2020. So Cole Kmet finally found a way to get into the end zone. And overall, we all realize that the receiving talent on this team has to get better going forward, okay? And it will get better next offseason when Ryan Poles hopefully drafts a top-level receiver, signs one, trades for one, whatever happens, okay? So it will get better going forward. But even with this lack of supporting cast, okay, lack of supporting talent, Justin Fields is playing the best ball of his Bears career up to this point, okay? In this game, guys, like I mentioned, he had a pretty efficient performance, completed 73% of his passes, but also was a big factor on the ground, okay? Luke Getsy opening up this offense to allow Justin Fields the ability to run with the football more is really benefiting him a lot, okay, in the entire Bears offense, because it's bringing a whole new dimension to the Chicago Bears offense. Justin Fields had 8 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown as well, okay? He's becoming one of the best mobile quarterbacks, dual threat quarterbacks in the entire NFL. He's only behind Lamar Jackson in terms of rushing yards for a quarterback, which I'm pretty damn impressed by, okay? Even though Justin Fields, obviously we knew he had the speed. He had 4.4 speed at the combine, okay? So obviously we knew he was a fast quarterback, but at Ohio State, he wasn't used as much as a running quarterback, okay? He was mostly just in the pocket. But this year, because the Bears don't have great pass blockers up front for the most part, we have a questionable supporting cast. Luke Getsy has totally leaned into this aspect of his game, okay? It's working really, really well, okay? Defenders seriously have no idea where we are going with the football because there's so many areas in which we can run the football, okay? We can do a jet sweep, we can do a quarterback run, we can do an RPO, we can do a handoff here, we can do a toss play here. So it's like this running attack right now for the Chicago Bears is so damn creative, which I give major props to Luke Getsy for, because it's the reason why the Chicago Bears are moving the ball down the field so effectively, and it's helping the passing attack as well, okay? The Chicago Bears in this game, man, they had 240 yards on the ground again. Like, they are the best rushing team in the NFL by a significant margin right now. The things we are doing on the ground is just so incredible. And again, major props to Luke Getsy for leaning into this strength of his offensive personnel, okay? He's not trying to have Justin Fields drop back and pass the ball 50 times a game like Matt Nagy did, because if he did that, especially in this game, Justin Fields would have gone sacked probably like 10 times, okay? He did get sacked 4 times in this game. Most of them were in the second half when we were trying to, make that comeback. But I thought for the most part, we did a pretty good job at, trying to avoid pressure for Justin Fields. Now, obviously, that's not always going to be the case because we don't have a great proven pass blocking offensive line going up against a very good defensive line like the Cowboys have. The fact that Micah Parsons basically only had that fumble recovery for a touchdown and nothing else besides that. I don't think he had a sack in this game. The other players had a sack. Like, he had a plan for Micah Parsons. He had a plan for how the Chicago Bears offense was going to move the ball down the field, and it basically worked, okay? Because scoring 29 against a top 3 defense, no other team has scored this much on the Dallas Cowboys defense. That is very, very impressive. And again, man, I'm so impressed by the play of quarterback Justin Fields. Okay, to be this young and to put together the string now, back-to-back good performances on the road against top 10 defenses. Young quarterbacks do not do this most times, okay? And especially with the supporting cast this limited, most young quarterbacks will completely crumble, but Justin Fields has lifted up the rest of the Bears offense, and he's been the major part, okay, the major cog in this Bears offense. He's carrying the ball on the ground, he's passing the ball a lot more comfortably now in the pocket. He's moving around, trying to evade pressure. He's also getting the ball out quicker, changing up his arm angle too multiple times based on how close the pass rusher is getting to him. So like all around, man, Justin Fields is improving, getting better as a quarterback, and you should be so excited about the development if you're a Chicago Bears fan, because this year ultimately is only about the growth and development of our young guys, especially Justin Fields. Okay, and to have him looking this good, this comfortable on the road against a top 3 defense, that makes me so excited for the rest of this Bears season, because man, we could see some really special things going forward out of Justin Fields as he's getting more comfortable in this new offense that is basically built specifically for him. So overall, man, even though the loss sucks, I'm not getting too mad about this loss, guys, because again, this year is mainly about development, and today I saw a lot of development, especially from Justin Fields. And to have our offense looking this entertaining again, like Bears games are actually fun to watch, I mean, I'm going to be pretty happy about that. So the loss sucks. Hopefully our defense does get better going forward, but I would rather lose like this than to lose in a low-scoring game like we did against the Commanders, because at least after a loss like this, you can point to the future of the Chicago Bears franchise and be really damn happy about that. So let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments down below, but as always, bear down.